Welcome to this week's video. This week we're getting the Volvo out into the woods. For the first time since we've installed a 3D printed lift kit and some BF Goodrich KO2s. Before we can get into the woods though, we need to check a power steering fluid leak. Wait, something isn't right. Ah yes, there we go. Now I'm in the right outfit.
Huh. That was easy to go inside.
Oh wow, and look at him go. He's already getting started. Well, as always, if you want to skip past the boring parts, there's timestamps down below. Hope you enjoy the video. So I think I might have found my culprit. I think it might be this little fitting that's on the rack here. For now, I'm going to see if I can get a little star thing on there and cinch it down, and maybe that'll help. But otherwise, I think it's okay. It's just a leak rather than being catastrophic. Well, I haven't decided if I'm going to do one night or 2 nights, but either way, I need to pack the car whether I'm leaving today or tomorrow. It's Friday, around 4:15. So we're going to get this thing packed, and then I'm going to have to figure out what I actually want to do, if I want to leave now or later. Looks like step one is cleaning up a mess that I didn't clean up earlier. That seems to be a theme on this channel. And unfortunately on this trip there will not be any drone footage because I crashed my drone on the last trip and the part came, but I couldn't get it fixed. I didn't break it, but the screws for the motor on the arm are glued in. So taking those out, I stripped them, so I had to spend another 45 bucks or whatever on a new arm, the motor already included. So I'll have to finish fixing that once that gets here in another maybe couple of weeks. Hopefully I have it fixed in time for the Gambler. Well, I think I've got everything in here about packed. It looks like so little when you put it in the Volvo, but when you put it in the Crown Vic, you know, you're just about full. One more thing we have to do before we leave though is top off the power steering fluid because we still got a massive leak. Well, that's topped off, and we're definitely going to be taking this little bottle here with us. Check this out. This car even comes with a little pocket to store a quart of fluid of your choice. Very convenient. Well, I'll let you know what I think I'll do once I have any kind of idea myself. Think about it while I go and pack my clothes. So long story short, I decided to just go camping one night this weekend. I am really itching to get out there, but my main excuse slash reason is that I really want to 3D print a little coffee caddy type thing that holds all of my coffee stuff together in a nice little box. And I'm halfway through modeling it right now, and I really want to finish that. And I can do that while I also catch the WAN show, which I guess is my other motivation. So I'm going to do that tonight, and then we'll get out somewhat early tomorrow morning. I'm not much of an early person, but I'll try my best. Let's get this thing modeled and maybe printed. So I'm modeling up the first draft here, and then we're going to do a quick little test print to see if the fit is right. Spoilers, it's not, and I didn't notice from the test print. Then I'm going to make some adjustments. It didn't work. And print the real thing overnight. I was trying to just get on the road in the morning, but I do tell you what exactly this thing's for later in the video. Well, I managed to pry myself out of bed around 7, and now it's about 7:37 after I threw some stuff in the car. We got to stop by the grocery store to pick up some food and beverages. Let's get on the road though. All right, we made it to dirt. I've never been in this way. I've been in this forest before, but I never used this entrance, so hopefully it goes somewhere. This looks like a pretty well-used road, so I'm thinking it does. But since we've hit dirt, time to air down. And just like in the recent Crown Vic camping video, I have these little things, which I've set previously, and they should just air it right down to about 21 PSI for me. If you haven't watched that video, you definitely should. It's one of my favorites, and it did not get a lot of views. I don't know why they make that noise. All right, so while those finish airing down, we'll just keep driving. Well, I've been hearing some weird noises coming from the power steering, so we're gonna check the fluid really quick and top it off. Well, actually, it's looking good, so never mind. We'll just ignore those weird noises. So I guess while I'm driving here, I can explain what the plan is. I've got 2 camping spots that we're gonna go try and visit today. One of them's at the top of the mountain. It might have snow on it still, but the other one I've been to before, and I know it'll be good. says. That hit adjusted my mirror and turned on my windshield wipers. Jeez. So we're going to try and go to the top of this mountain first, and if that doesn't work out, then we'll go to the known good camp spot. At least it was known good 2 years ago, so we'll see if it's still good. That truck I just passed had a trailer, and it had a side-by-side on it with tracks on it. I didn't really know that was much use when it wasn't winter. Maybe there's still snow up here that they're trying to find. I don't know. Took me too long to change the position of the camera and the truck caught up. They are making pretty good time considering they got a trailer. Hey, I think we found the logging operations I keep seeing signs about. There's a junction up here. Let's hope they take a different route than me. This might come as a surprise, but I'm kind of tired of driving already. It's just a lot of boring gravel roads as compared to like actual anything challenging. So that means I'm gonna start looking for camp. I think I'm gonna head towards my known good campsite, and that'll be our end goal if I don't find anything else. Well, let's continue on and see where I get to. So I'm almost to my known camp spot, and I saw this little climb here, and I'm gonna see what the Volvo does to it. Well, that was quite the scrape on the belly, but otherwise, no problem. I guess it's not even noon yet. I don't think. Yeah, it's 11:42. I didn't have any breakfast today, and I haven't had lunch yet, so I grabbed this little quick mac and cheese bowl, and I'm gonna boil up some water and just have that. I didn't know where I'd be at this time in the day, so I figured I'd make something just really easy. As it turns out, I would have had plenty of time, but of course I didn't know that. Drinking, I have one of my favorite beers. This is a Top Cutter IPA by Bale Breaker Brewing. That's a sort of a tongue twister. These guys are based in Yakima, Washington, and if you're not from around here, you might not know. They provide hops to basically all of Western United States, as well as, I believe, globally. They grow a lot of hops there, and so, of course, this is made with Yakima hops. Oh, we might have gone over a few bumps on the way here. Oh, why does beer taste better when you got a view like this? So I actually made the mistake of forgetting to bring any seasoning salt or tahini or anything like that for these cucumbers. But I did have an idea. What if I crush up some of these Flamin' Hot lime Doritos and then sprinkle them over? We'll see how that works. So all that did was turn my hands red and waste a Dorito. Not a good idea. Turns out the move is to just eat a cucumber and a Dorito, alternate bites. Well, that isn't the most appetizing thing I've ever seen. I basically have cheese water with some noodles. That's not great. Usually I figure I might as well just put in the time and make actual mac and cheese, but I was going for convenience here, and I think that might have been a mistake. I mean, it's edible. Not much more than that, though. Delicious. My favorite part was the crunchy noodles. I don't think I'll try and do that again. Thank God for the cucumber. Never used the hammock like this for lounging before, where you sit sideways in it like this, but I'm impressed. This is so comfortable. I feel like I'm at a resort, which maybe and more is an indicator of that I don't know what a resort is like, but this is very nice. Well, I wasn't expecting this, but I guess this is what happens when you get in early. A guy came up behind me in his truck and hiked past where I am, and he said he had, I think, a bear bait or some sort, and said he's been seeing bears, so I guess I'll have to be extra wary of those tonight, but friendly guy, just doing some hunting, of course.
Well, we should have known that I wouldn't be able to sit still for 9 hours or whatever until it gets dark. So it's about 1:14 now, and I had a nice little rest there and got to enjoy this incredible view. But we're gonna head out. I knew this was gonna happen. So I realized about halfway into the woods, maybe 20 miles into the woods, I didn't bring a chainsaw. So here's my tool. My dad told me that an axe would work better for this, and I have one, but I've never found that to be true, so let's try it out. Hey, that's in 2 pieces. Now I think it's time to use the power of the car. Drag this out of the way. There we go! Onwards! That was a lot of work. Another log right there. Let's go take a look. Oh, hang on a minute. It looks like people have been going around in the bush instead of moving it. Let's try that out. No problem, but let's be honest, that wasn't surprising. It is as we feared. I've gotten to the top, and there's not really an exciting place to camp. Obviously I could camp here, but why would I really want to? We didn't make it to the top of the mountain. Well, that's a bit disappointing, but hey, it's a little bit of an adventure. Testing out the limits of the car. Guess I gotta get this thing turned around and head back down. We have made it back to the main road. Time to trek on. So just over there is Spion Kop, and that's like a mountain, it's a peak. And so this is Spion Kop Rock. And so we're gonna walk around and see what there is to see at Spion Kop Rock. And I probably will camp here, honestly. I don't see any reason not to. Kind of a cool spot. Though I probably will be a little bit disturbed because it's at the end of the road, so. I think I've actually driven down there before. That is just beautiful. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. That's an overhang rock right there. And just the view you have, it's like probably 200, 300, it's probably like a 300-degree view or something. That's pretty cool. Maybe I'll clamber around on some of the rocks later on if I'm feeling better rested. But for now I need to figure out where I'm actually gonna camp, where I'm gonna put my hammock, because I'm not carrying all my stuff out to that rock. Even though it is cool. There's also a little path that goes out this way. Let's see what's out here. Oh, this is where I'm camping, dude. Look at this, the fire pit, the view. I can tie my hammock to that tree and that tree. This is perfect. I'm so glad I came and found this new spot. The other spot's really cool and I love it, but This is gonna be a sweet place to camp tonight. I'm stoked on this. Let's make sure the car is as out of the way as it can be. And then let's start getting unloaded. Go to pack my stuff a little bit, but I'll show you in real time. There's my fire pit and there's the car, so it isn't really too far at all. I don't think I can really get it much more out of the way than that. Lots of room for people to turn around still. All right, let's get stuff over to the campsite. Oh, and this is a small, stupid thing, but look at how great this parking spot worked out. There's a little path right down here, directly to my back door where I unloaded all the wood from. I left all the foodstuffs in here just for safety, of course, but I think we're gonna have to get started on those hot dogs pretty soon here. Oh, not that it's too big of a deal to me, but I do have cell service, so that's nice. I just let the fire start so we can have some coals for hot dogs. All right, time to start bushcrafting this thing. This is all cedar stuff. I have some cedar scraps, then a cedar log. Then I just have the Top Cutter IPA box. We'll see how we go here. Well, to mourn the death of the poor Top Cutter box, we'd better enjoy a Top Cutter here. I don't know why my beers are so fizzy. The Volvo is not getting good fuel economy. It's getting like 13 to the gallon. For comparison, the Loyale, it gets about 20 to 22 to the gallon no matter where you drive it. I think the Crown Vic honestly might even do better on these logging roads. I looked down and my tank was at half full right after I left the first spot I hung out at. We have a problem, and by we, I mean I, and by I have a problem, I mean I am lazy. I tried to start this thing the lazy way. It's smoldering. I'm gonna go get the axe and chop up some kindling and try and get it going. Well, it's not quite what I'd call kindling, but these should really just go right up. There we go. I think that's going now. I'll let you get back to your time lapse. All right, so I'm thinking to set up the hammock. It's about 5 o'clock. I don't think anyone else is gonna come up, and if they do, well, gonna be a hammock here. The cool rock is actually over that way, the one I hiked to first anyways, so not bothering them too much. Actually, the spot where the camera's sitting is a spot for a tent, so people have definitely camped here before, of course. So I'm no hammock camping expert. This is my first hammock setup, but I thought I'd at least tell you what it is. It's a hammock double, so it's designed for 2 people, and it can hold 2 people, but that's like for maybe naps and stuff, just for something, you know, cozy. I wouldn't want to sleep in it with 2 people. And then I just have some Amazon no-name underquilt, which seems to get me down to about 40 degrees comfortably and maybe around 30 uncomfortably. And then I just have an old mummy bag as a top quilt. And if you are not familiar with hammocking, the reason you have a top quilt and underquilt is because if you just get in a sleeping bag, you will compress all of that down that's underneath you, or all of that insulation, and it won't provide any insulation. And Leah and I actually discovered that on our first camping trip. We were camping in probably 50-degree weather, and we were cold. But I've used this thing a few times now, and it seems to work good enough. And I also have this sleeping bag liner, which I just climb inside of, and it's very cozy. It means I don't have to feel the hammock on my skin. This is very soft. And then I just have a portable pillow. I don't even know what this one is. I haven't been very happy with it. It's just memory foam, so it'll just like compress. And if you store it compressed, then good luck sleeping on it because it does not expand by itself. But it's good enough and I have it, so I use it. All right, sleeping accommodations all set up. I do love how easy this is. There's no fiddling with poles. There's no having to wrap stuff up in the morning. You just stuff everything into its respective bag, and then you're good to go. No folding unless you have the tarp. But tonight, I don't think it's going to rain, so I'll probably sleep without a tarp. Well, I've got only the finest of roasting rods. I actually like these. They take up no room in your packing, and I find them to be surprisingly functional. Well, I'm used to just throwing hot dogs into the cooler. But it would appear that these hot dogs The packaging was not very waterproof. I don't have much of a choice but to eat them, so I'm gonna do just that. I'm gonna cook them one at a time just because that's more entertainment and I got nothing else to do. Hey, that's pretty good. What I've got here is a cheddar jalapeno dog and some Dijon mustard. Man, it's nothing fancy, but hits the spot for sure. I do know that people exist that, you know, like maybe 3 wieners or 4 wieners or even just dozens of wieners all at once. I'm not one of those people. I just like 1 or 2. Another cold one I got on this trip is the Expo 74 Collins by Dry-Fi Distillery. It's about the 50th anniversary of Expo 74, which was hosted in Spokane, and so I guess Dry-Fly, also being in Spokane, thought they'd make a special drink for it. I am a sucker for gin drinks. And you have seen this before, actually, if you watched that recent Crown Vic camping video. One of the more productive activities I brought to do with me is I have this rope which I intend to use for tarp. Obviously I don't need a tarp tonight, but in the future I will, so I might as well still cut up this piece of rope into a few different pieces so I can use a tarp when I need to. I realized I never really actually shared what I was modeling last night beyond it being a coffee thing. It's essentially a little caddy to go for the AeroPress. This is the current iteration, but it's not very good. One part that works great is the AeroPress clamp. It just snaps into here. And then this is a 3D print made by someone else, the model was, and then you have coffee in here. And then you have filters in the top. And it just fills up the empty space that would have been empty otherwise. And then when you snap it into here with my design, it holds it in so it doesn't fall out. And then the plan for this was to have this sit over the top, but I did my measurements wrong, and I was gonna have a little clamp over top of here to hold this in place so it didn't flop all over the place. But obviously this isn't tall enough. I was actually gonna use the LTT magnetic cable management arch. I was gonna go over here like that, so I'll just have to redesign that. And then this little stir paddle was supposed to go in the bottom. However, I made a mistake and it's not wide enough of a gap for the handle. So that does fit obviously, but it should go in a lot deeper than that. So for now, I just have it sticking out the top. And then this is a little portable scale I have. Its fitment is great, but probably a little too great. So I need to make the margins a little wider. But this is a really good first prototype. This thing's gonna be sick for going camping. Yeah, really happy with this. So as it turns out, I did not bring enough firewood to start a fire at 4 o'clock tonight. So I am going to just go do a quick little bit of scavenging and see if I can find a log or two. Something bigger would be fine, obviously, but see what I find. Well, that did not take long. There's a down tree right there and a down tree right there. So see if I can scavenge some wood from those guys to burn. So I took off of that tree that's way up there at the top, that one right there, and I cut it right here. And then while I was hacking at it, it was so dry that 2 more pieces broke off. Those are in the center. Well, it's burning. I got another piece for next. Well, as you can hear, there is someone coming. See how that goes. I'm thinking they're here for sunset. They've been hanging out for a while and the sun is setting right over there. So, be gone shortly. Not that I mind company. It is public land after all. I gotta share. They are finally leaving, as you might be able to hear behind me. They spent the sunset out at the point there that I showed you. You know, I just realized that if the sun sets over there and my hammock is there behind me, that means the sun rises over there where I have all these trees to block me from the sun. I should have a nice, cool sleep in rather than being woken up by the sun beating down on me. So I've spread out the fire here. I'm hoping to maybe have a wiener or two for breakfast. You know, I mean, there's never not a bad time for wieners. So I just spread it out. I don't want to pour any water on it because that'll make it harder to start in the morning, especially considering I'm out of all the nice cedar stuff. But yeah, I spread it out. I'm going to sit here, let it cool down, and hop in the hammock and go to bed. Well, it's time to gracefully clamber into the hammock. So here's my gear. Got my liner, which is nice and fuzzy. My sleeping bag, which is going to be nice and warm. And my pillow, which is going to be nice and comfy. Man, I'm looking forward to a good sleep. If these flashlight weren't blinding me, I can see the stars up above. This is where it's at, man. Good night. See you tomorrow morning. Well, this is absolutely not a terrible way to wake up. Well, with some help from the trusty propane, I did get a fire going this morning. Hoping to maybe have a hot dog or two before I leave. I didn't bring much else for food, so. So see, as you can see in these things that screw apart, we've got coffee. We want about 15 grams here. There we go. I like to practice the riskiest of coffee brewing methods with this thing, which is the inverted method. It means that none of your unbrewed hot water drips through into the brewer. But first, before anything else, we need to grind our beans. Our water is boiling very nicely. All right, let's brew some coffee. This method is even riskier when you're doing it on an uneven rock. And we're gonna let that sit for about 2 minutes. Probably about ready to do what it says in the name, to press. You just want to press slowly over the course of about a minute. This isn't going to be perfect because I wasn't really using a timer for anything. It should be still some pretty darn good coffee. One of the best parts about the AeroPress is just how easy it is to clean. All you got to do is pop this out, and I'm just going to do that over the cliff here. And you got to rinse off the extra coffee grounds. And just like that, it's clean. Let me snap that back into our caddy. This is going to be sweet once I get the dimensions dialed in. And let's see how I did. Oh, I did good. Especially considering I wasn't using a timer or anything. Well, I think it's time to enjoy my coffee around the fire while I roast myself a wiener or two. Some people are very limited, you know, in the amount of wieners that they can consume in a weekend, and I haven't reached that limit yet. We'll see. I don't know if I was dreaming or not last night, but I thought I felt some raindrops. I definitely was dreaming when I thought some other people came and camped next to me. Well, I think I'm good. So I think we've determined the amount of wieners I can take in one weekend is about 3. Well, I'm gonna walk over to the into the big rock over there real quick before I leave, and we'll be getting on the road. I think I'm just gonna make a pretty good beeline for home. Got one last visit to the old rock. If you look over there, right about there, that's where we were camping. There's the river down there running through that canyon. So I did notice that the interior lighting wasn't coming on when I opened the doors this morning. I think this car has a little bit of a protection to make sure you don't run the battery dead. But I'm just gonna hop in here and immediately start it up. At least that's the plan. Oh yeah, no problem. It must just be smart enough to know that I'm parked for a while. It doesn't need to turn on the lights. If so, neat. If not, I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, that AC feels nice. Let's get going. Time to air up. I put these tires and this 3D printed lift kit through the ringer. I took some hits so hard it turned on my left turn signal and my wipers and adjusted my rear view mirror, and well, the lift kit's still installed, isn't it? So I haven't mentioned this yet, or maybe I did, but we got 11.6 miles to the gallon on that trip. That is impressively terrible. And I did just air up. The TPMS light should go away once we get moving. But 11.6 miles to the gallon. Our next stop is definitely the gas station. Fortunately, it's downhill still most of the way. Well, we made it. I don't know if you can see from here, but part of the bumper's missing. I don't know where it went. I didn't back into anything as far as I know. It must have just vibrated loose. I'll have to find that. But anyways, in classic Joel fashion, I'm just gonna dump everything in here and take care of it later. Let's get this thing unpacked. See how the power steering fluid situation is. Aside from hot, holy crap. Empty. Let's top that off again. Well, thanks for watching. If you want to see what I'm up to in the future, hit the subscribe button. If you like seeing me thrash on this Volvo, hit the like button and leave a comment if you think I could do something better. Thanks for watching.